It began like any other quiet evening, routine and unremarkable, until everything shifted in a way I never could have foreseen. Dinner was finished, and I sat at the table, lazily scrolling through my emails, when Melissa, my wife of 7 years, walked into the dining room. Something about her movements felt off. Her fingers drummed against her phone with a restless rhythm. Her posture too rigid. Her presence too heavy. A strange tension hung in the air, but I couldn't have imagined the weight of the words she was about to release. She took a seat across from me, eyes carefully avoiding mine. And in a voice so soft it nearly broke, she said, "I need to tell you something. I'll be going away for a few days with Ryan." For a few seconds, I just stared at her, waiting for the punchline, a smile, anything that would turn this into a misunderstanding or a poor attempt at humor. But Ryan wasn't a random name. He was her ex, the man she had sworn belonged to her past. Hearing his name now, paired with travel plans, sent a cold weight sinking into my stomach. My mind scrambled, trying to deny it, to twist her words into something else, anything else. But the truth was clear. The woman I trusted more than anyone was preparing to leave with the one person who should have never resurfaced in her life. Every instinct screamed to lash out, to demand answers, to shout until my rage filled the room. But I forced the storm back, caging it behind calmness. I knew too well what would happen if I erupted. She would twist it, paint me as insecure, jealous, controlling. I would not give her that weapon. She sat there, lips pressed thin, eyes fixed on the table, bracing herself for my reaction. The silence grew unbearable, pressing against my chest. Yet I forced myself to remain steady. Finally, I asked a single question. One word that carried every ounce of my pain and confusion. "Why?" My voice was even, though inside fire burned. Melissa's answer came rehearsed, polished, as though she had practiced it in front of a mirror. "It was work-related," she said. "Ryan had connections that could help her career. I needed to trust her judgment." Her tone was almost dismissive, as though this betrayal were nothing more than a practical arrangement I should simply accept. As she spoke, I noticed her eyes, how she watched me closely, searching for the outburst she expected. She wanted me to argue, to beg, to lose control so she could stand taller in her justification. But I refused. I let her finish, my face unreadable, nodding faintly as though her explanation meant nothing. When her carefully rehearsed speech ended, the silence stretched long and sharp. I leaned back in my chair, met her gaze at last, and uttered only 2 words. "Don't worry." The effect was immediate. She blinked, her mouth parting slightly, unprepared for calm when she had braced for chaos. She repeated my words back at me, voice shaking, as though she couldn't believe that was all I had to say. I didn't explain. I didn't soften it. I just held her stare for a moment longer before turning back to my emails as if the conversation had never happened. That night, she circled back again and again, probing, testing, desperate to read my silence. Was I angry? Was I broken? Did I still love her? But no matter how she pressed, I remained still, offering nothing more than the quiet weight of those 2 words. The more she pushed, the more unsettled she became. She thought she had seized control, but she had lost it the moment she revealed her intentions. By the next morning, I had already made my decision. While she showered, I packed my own bag in silence. On the kitchen counter, I left divorce papers and a note containing the same words she hadn't been able to shake. "Don't worry. I'm done." No shouting, no drawn-out explanations, no pleas. Just finality written in black and white. When she stepped out and saw the papers, her face went pale. I was already walking out the door, head high, my resolve unshakable. She had believed she could revisit her past, test my limits, and return to a marriage that would still be waiting. But the truth was simple. The moment she spoke of leaving with Ryan, she ended everything. Those 2 words were never about calmness alone. They were a full stop. A line drawn. My way of saying I would never fight for someone who had no respect left to give. And in the end, it wasn't fury or tears or a dramatic explosion that closed the chapter. It was quiet certainty. Because sometimes, the loudest statement comes not in shouting or chaos, but in 2 words that mark the moment you finally walk away, for good.